Forgetting that. Alrighty.
What is my dream? What is my goal? What is my aim?
Yeah.
Good question.
Yeah, think about it. I want you to send me your answer. I'd love to hear it. Okay. Yeah, wow, great. We are live streaming there. What happened? Oh, look at that. Okay. Let's see here. Good morning, everyone. If you're tuning in, we're getting everything set up for our pop-up session. Let's paint and draw along. Let me check. I hear an echo. Hopefully that's better. Still hearing an echo. Right.
Keep creating all that now.
Yes.
Am I the echo?
Maybe. Do you have any headsets? No. Okay. Can you when we start to go through stuff, can you just mute and then just unmute when we're talking? They'll probably we'll see what happens after that. Like, are you muted now? Okay, you're muted now. It's not you. Okay, so let me see.
Yep, not okay. It might be you again.
All right. Well, everyone, if you're seeing us and hearing us, what I want you to do is to like this video and also get ready because we're about ready to have some fun today. And I just want to make sure no one, are you hearing an echo, Sue? Okay.
It's you.
It's me.
Is it coming from me?
No.
It's not?
Nope.
Okay.
Test 1, 2, 3.
You sound clear over here, but you might be hearing a reverb on your end.
That's it. Yeah. And I don't have that kind of control there. So let me see. Let me see some. Test 1, 2, 3. Okay.
Mute your laptop.
Test 1, 2, 3.
Either that or change the settings on your mic.
No, it's hardwired.
Whatever it's hooked up into.
I'm gonna check a cable. Test 1, 2, 3. All right, how do I sound? Still
You're
there.
fine on this. Yeah, with us, you're fine. I know with me, you're fine. On the Zoom, you're fine. There's no echo.
Okay. Well, then I'll have to, let's see, one other thing I can do.
I hear the echo, but I don't hear the map.
Yeah.
Oh, you do? I don't hear it over here.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't hear an echo at all.
Test 1, 2, 3. Check 1, 2, 3. All right, how do I sound?
Once again, to me, you sound fine. There's no echo over here.
So Ann, you're hearing the echo?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I think we should continue, and then it's something I may have to go to Zoom and talk to them about because I haven't changed any settings. So everyone, thank you for your patience. My name is Nadine O. I'm here with Don Stephens and one of our members of Let's Paint and Draw Along. It's Let's Make Something from Nothing series. We're continuing with that. Hopefully, I believe we are.
Don't have to be hopefully if that's it. Okay, but then you know my deal. Where are we going?
Where are we going with it? Well, this is part 8.
I didn't walk in on a conversation today that I can snatch from.
Oh, there you go.
The stuff that you guys are looking at is stuff that I've had a couple of people that took a class with me online.
Okay.
And I got explaining stuff and things. So, you know, that's what that's about.
Mm-hmm. So
if you talk about perspective or things like that, we could.
Right.
You know,
it was
you.
Hey Don, you know what I'm loving?
What's that?
That hot air balloon up in the top left corner.
Well, you know that's my anthem. I'll throw that in and everything, especially when it comes to instructing.
Right.
Because it makes you ponder. You know, an airplane, yeah, all right, great. A jet, yeah. But an air balloon, how many people see an air balloon on a regular basis? Not many.
True, true.
That makes you think, well, me, I think about Buck Rogers, you know what I mean? So Buck Rogers, if you remember back in the day when it first started, was all about air balloons and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And how they would traverse the space in air balloons. So that was always a thing for me. So I just liked it. And when I got to South Jersey, they had hot balloon festivals that I found out. And I got an opportunity to get on one, go up and it's an experience. It's fun, but you can see the rawness of it. You know what I mean?
Oh, heck
it's
yeah.
First-hand experience. And it means a lot when you see a hot air balloon. It makes you think about fantasy for some reason. It makes you think about, you know, explorations into spaces and places that you might stumble into because it's an air balloon. You ride on a cusp of air.
Mm-hmm.
So how much control do you have, but, you know, up and down, basically?
Yup.
You know,
it's only up and down.
Yeah, you can't really navigate forward and back, not unless you got a different type of setup for your hot air balloon idea. Maybe you got some hot air that you can use as jets, turn it to the side and get some propulsion from the side to go sideways. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
All I know is when I was on one, it was like all they can control is up and down. That's what was funny to me. But then from my childhood, it filled a certain fantasy zone that me going, but you know, everything is about space and all that.
Mm-hmm.
I come from the Buck Rogers thing.
Yeah, the Buck Rogers thing. Yeah, it is definitely an experience. I agree with you. When it comes to heights and looking down.
It's like it's better than an airplane if you have the guts to do it or if you have the fortitude. Because you do have to trust that this balloon is going to be safe.
Yes.
I mean, it's just you in the basket. Weights on the side and things like that. And in the hot air, you know, the burners above you that burns the air that's inside, you know, get your lift.
And every now and then you hear that, you know, that, I don't know what that is.
You know, when I was on it, I was just so caught up in the scenery. Being up amongst the clouds, feeling like you can almost touch the clouds, like literally put your hand out, and if you flew through a cloud, you can like feel the atmosphere and stuff. That was kind of fun. Not something that he said he was supposed to do, because that's not good. You're flying blind.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then now you might run into something. So it's not like a jet where you can make a quick move or two, like, oh my God, something's coming. Pew, pew. No, it's not like that. It's like slow moving. You're going to see something coming up on you. And if it can't move faster than you, then, you know, ultimately it'll be okay. Like, because I asked all that stuff while we was in the air. The people that was in the basket with me didn't like that I asked all these type of questions. But that's silly me. That's younger Don when he was still in the Marine Corps. So, you know, that adventurous side was already open from there, from jumping out of stuff and doing things that way. So it just made me a fiend for it then.
Mm-hmm.
So what you're saying, you want to do something with balloons, but you know, but then where are we going, or what's the view?
The view is, you know how when they have those big festivals and there are all those balloons in the air and all those different colors?
Yeah, that's cool. But what I'm saying is, what is the point of view?
What is the point of view?
Yeah,
That's a
not
good
the
one.
end. You know, our
Usually,
intent is to
mm-hmm,
what? Use the hot air balloon.
mm-hmm,
Okay, like how we say each time that we've done anything and we're making it up now, we don't have a photograph. Whenever we've done an episode or done a thing where we're making up things,
mm-hmm,
everyone has to realize that what? Your pie point, that's why I'm pointing like
mm-hmm,
that. Between you're the beginning and end of everything in the piece.
right,
So if we say hot air balloons, okay, then what are the different vantage points or points of view that we can take that can be, you know, fun to
right.
see a whole bunch of other air balloons from the sky, an aerial
Mm-hmm,
view,
mm-hmm.
you know? So, you know, look, come on, let's ponder about it. Come on, throw some stuff against the fan. See what
Well,
sticks, see what oh,
I so often have seen them where it's from a chopper view, which
okay.
is there you're looking at it even at a higher level than what most people would see it. But then there's the
Yeah,
point of view, like uh, when you're looking up at it, and there's just so many. It's almost like kites feeling the same thing if there was like a kite convention.
I'll throw this out there. What I mean is, we're not on the ground with this one.
Okay.
Are we on the ground or are we not on the ground? Are we
Uh,
on the ground looking up at this or are we on in the basket looking out?
oh, I
Really?
think that's
See
even
where I'm
better.
going?
In the basket. I
US.
love that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's the stuff that I'm saying that we can play with when you start to ponder and throw things at your idea or thought, dealing with something from nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, every that does it, every product designer, anybody that's creating something, they sit down and have an idea session with themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they're fortunate enough, like how we're doing now, we have a group or a trio right now.
Mm-hmm.
You see? So with that being said, it's like you got to have a part of your something from nothing where when you come up with something that you want to do, like how we're pondering today, a hot air balloon, you have to
Mm-hmm.
say to yourself, what do I want to do? What view, what point of view, what vantage point do I want to explore? You see? Mainly when we're saying that, it's just about location. So then let me get this stuff off the board. How's everybody doing today?
Beautiful, beautiful.
Right. That's what I like. She ran okay back there.
I'm good.
Okay. You have anything you want to add to this idea of a hot air balloon scene?
I'm trying to think of a scenario to
Okay.
look at.
Scenario, you're up in the air, you're on a hot air balloon, we're looking down. So it'll be like if you're in a skyscraper,
Uh-huh.
the view from a balcony, like almost in a scene. You see, if you think about the view, if you ever been in a balcony situation in a high-rise building,
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
looked out the window of a business building, that's the type of view that we're going to have, basically, to
Mm-hmm.
start off. You know, now the other stuff that will go into it is what are we showing on the basket? See,
Ooh.
think about that.
On the basket that we're in or the other baskets?
Yeah, like the basket that we're in. See, I want to get everybody to understand when you're doing something from nothing, that you're controlling everything. What do I mean by that? What I mean is that you have a session, like how we say, just a brief moment with yourself, where you would write down or jot down real quick ideas about what it is you want to do. So I'll write down over here, hot air scene. See, from basket. See where I'm going, Nadine? Pretty much like how you be doing with the notes on the side.
Yeah.
You see, what else do we want to see possibly? We said a scene from the basket, multiple balloons, right? All right. Do we want to see anything else in the sky, or we just want to see balloons? Still there?
Yes, I'm still there.
All right.
I'm thinking a helicopter.
Well, we're not going to be in a helicopter. That means you would have to go to the inside of the helicopter to see where I'm going.
Okay.
Cloud.
You see what I'm saying? So then look, I'm going to put the box here.
Okay.
All right. And now we're going to say that's an aerial scene. An aerial balloon. You can say copter. You know what I mean? Or any high point, a high rise if you want to. But the main thing is like, watch. I'm just going to draw the curve of the inside of the top of the basket. Look at that. Let your imagination go wild. Okay? Now
It's going wild.
Thicker in to show the brim. See that?
So I've never been in one of these. So are you allowed to stand to the edge and put your head out, or put your hands on the edge and back?
And you can do anything that you want to do. I mean, it's the point of view. So if we're going to be looking down out of the basket, I would change where the basket brim of the basket is. Because now I would have to show it looking like we're looking down. Which means now I would bring this more so here, the rim here. And then now do the thicker part here. See where I'm going? Now I can do the sides of the basket looking like it's coming from the sides here. See what's starting to happen?
Oh yeah.
So if we're looking down, you see what I'm saying? Now we would have to do what? Well, another balloon would possibly be over here, but it would be below us. So we're seeing the top of this balloon. So we would have to show the safety lines that's going down. See? Maybe a couple of notches there to show that it's knotted up. Knots in the rope. You see what I'm saying? Because you wouldn't see the basket. Maybe there's a smaller one here. See? Same thing again. I don't think one would be too, you would want one closer than that. Maybe one way down. The smaller it gets. Because your eye level would be here now. Basically. You see, because you're looking down. So then in other words, maybe a cloud is coming in. We're seeing the tops of the clouds now. We're not seeing the bottoms. Maybe it's a cloud underneath this one. See? Feel like we're looking down yet? I don't know.
I think so.
Maybe put an arm out here, like watch. Maybe we put an arm out. Maybe palm up. So you got to put that little slit in the middle there. That's the palm of the hand. And a little slide that way. Now we have the palm of the hand. Erase this stuff out in the basket. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I think my hand is bigger. Let me make it
Make
smaller.
your hand bigger. Means that it's closer. Put another one over here, whereas most people in the basket, maybe somebody is pointing, their hand is a little bit bigger or closer to the audience. See? And then make that finger, make it look like it's the right hand doing it. So then once again, the thumb is on the inside here. The knuckles are here. Right? And now we can do like this finger is pointing out at something. But let's do something called foreshortening. Make the finger taper as it goes away. So then now you see the knuckles here. Of somebody's hand looking like they're pointing away from us. Now we would erase out the inside here. Inside here. Show where that thumb is on the side. And got somebody pointing towards him. Or pointing down. Maybe even, let's have some more fun and show the thumb in oddity like so. There you go. Like that better. Some of the thumb on the side. There you go. Yep.
So John, we're above the balloons, right?
Say again?
We're above those other balloons, or below.
You can imagine that if you want to. That's imaginary.
But we're below them.
Real big in the upper corner or something like, what if we did this? A piece of the balloon, either right here, coming in right here. Now, would I really want that balloon that close right there? Because now I would have emergency lines a little bit more in detail because it's closer, you see? And now this part would be off, so this would be the balloon right there. So now I would erase this off so you can see it a little bit better on the outside edge of the page. So you see how that balloon is there? Then where are we at? Are we over a city environment? Are we over an ocean? Where are we at since we're looking down?
Ooh, that's a city? Ooh.
All right, you said it.
That's intense.
Yes, intense, because now, all right, I would do something like a peninsula, and let's see, is Philadelphia like a peninsula? Let's look at it. No, because it's on the coastal line. So we would have to do like a New York type of thing. Whereas we can say this is the coastal line. Well, I mean, depends upon where you're saying it's at, because now you would have to do a topographical type of map. Whereas you could do like a road coming in like this, you see? And now you would have to govern by how much you're seeing of that road or river, you see, or whatever that may be. It's almost like we're looking at this like we're on Google Maps. And we're looking down. But that's pretty much how it looks from an aerial view. And then you'll have a couple of little lakes. So we way up there. Especially if you're seeing clouds below you like that. So we way up there. Maybe that's a lake. You're not really going to see any trees either. You know? So what other type of descriptive things do you think we're going to see? Maybe we'll see the weights that's on the basket. Pointing towards the middle, they can get smaller down there and then bigger up here. Because they do have weights on the outside.
Oh, yeah.
and then they're tied. Make it look like it's coming over the edge with a rope.
Now those weights are like sandbags?
Could be.
Okay,
Could be other material that's weighted.
okay,
Some of them I saw they had lead weights on them,
okay.
you know? So I guess it depends upon the navigator. So if you're navigating on yours, depending upon what you want, like I'm gonna put a bunch of these little small ones that look pretty decent that I just made up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm 5 point, I can make it up. As long as the direction is there to make you feel it. See?
Mm-hmm.
As soon as I put those in there and they taper at the bottom, remember we're looking down.
Mm-hmm.
So everything out there would have to be like that. So then now, let's say possibly we have the rope around this one. So we would see the rope around there and around the sides, right? And then one rope that would come up this way, go around the edge here and then go around. See?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe there's another one on the other side. I don't know. What you're thinking? Oh yeah, that feels like it too. When you look at it through the screen, it feels like we're looking down.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, what else you want to see?
There's so many opportunities.
This is what I'm saying. So let's go for it. What are some opportunities? I mean, you can show where a forest is and everything else, and maybe show us a top of a building, but it'll have to be the same size as that smaller balloon or smaller. Think about it now.
Mm-hmm.
A bridge?
The smaller balloon, that smaller circle that we have in the upper right quadrant going towards. Everything on the floor will have to be that size or smaller because it's on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
We're saying that where we got the hands pointing and the palm of the hand at, we're saying that's one of the highest points of where balloons are. So if we're looking down and we can see the river like that and we see another cloud underneath another balloon, we're way up there.
Oh.
Yeah, we're not just 20 stories up. That's a little bit higher than 20 stories. That's probably double that. That's probably 40 stories right there.
Okay.
Think about it. Think about it when you're looking down on a plane. When the plane is taking off, you're looking at stuff that's larger. Then when you're coming into your next port, what does it look like when you're looking down? All you see is the tops of things. You see squares for buildings. You don't see right. You don't see the building as a three-dimensional shape when you're up there in a plane. You're looking down, you see that plane. I mean, you see those buildings as little squares and rectangles and circles and whatever shape of the foundation of the building that you're looking down upon. So if you're ever flying over, like when you're coming into Philadelphia, what are you seeing? Yeah, all right, if you ever went to Florida, everybody, this is for everybody. And when you're looking down out of the plane and the plane banks to one side and the other so you can see real good. What are you seeing? You're not seeing the sides of these buildings and things.
You see like a grids.
Say again?
You see like grids.
Yeah, but I'm explaining what that is. You're seeing the small squares, the small shapes of the buildings, of the architecture from the top down. So if that building is a cylindrical building, like some skyscrapers in your business areas, in your metropolis areas or city environments, then you're going to look down and see circles and rectangles and different types of shapes of buildings. You ride over a spot like University City, then you see these elongated oval-like rectangular shapes when you fly over top. So that's what I'm saying. If you're saying that we're seeing some of the sides of these ideas, then we're lower to the ground. You know, that's the thing about the aerial view. You're not seeing it like you're on the ground. No, wherever you're in is your perceived ground.
Right.
When you're in the plane or the helicopter, where you're sitting at is the perceived ground. Because unless we look out and forward, we won't see the horizon line. We're just looking down on the earth. Now, if I show on the sides here, just a small diagram of what happened with this scene if we was looking out rather than down. You see now. I'll put a little square here. We see this square okay, everybody?
Oh yeah, looks good.
Okay. All right, let me erase out the inside here. Now, if we was looking the same idea, like how we're doing, and say, for instance, we change the rim. Now you see why I changed the rim. I bring it up just a little bit from that point, but we bring it more so like here. See how it feels like a balcony now?
Yes.
This would be the inside of the basket. We give it an inner edge for the inside. You see? And now when we're looking out, that horizon line will possibly be right around here. And now you would see the balloons differently. Like now you may see one balloon and it may be here. And you may be able to see the people in this basket, period. See what I'm saying? Because we're looking out. You see, now we take that same idea and we make it smaller now. But now we put the rope around it because we know it has to have a rope around it to have stability to hold that basket. And it may have multiple string points on there, support points. But I just wanted to give an idea of feeling, an expression of it. You see, look, how does that feel so far? Does that feel like it's you know, different spaces? Okay, let's put another one smaller out this way, right? Then, like how Nadine was saying, we're in a basket. So then watch this, let's have some fun. Like how that one is right there, we're gonna say we see the top of it right here. And then now we can put another one right here, but smaller. See where I'm getting at?
Oh yeah.
So now you put the lines on that. Maybe put one line coming up and over here. You see? Now if it's a city environment, swing, now you would see some of it like this. Like so, right? And then now you may see the tops of trees, maybe a top of a building or two. It still would be like squares. See what I'm saying? You won't see one side, you just see a squat of it. See how I'm doing it, ladies?
Oh yeah.
Think about it now, about what your terrain is going to be. Things moving closer to your horizon, you may start seeing the size of the building. You see, so mine is like a cul-de-sac area for condominium split level stuff there. And maybe, because you wouldn't want to see a building too clearly at this point. I know the deal. So you got to think about that too, everybody. You wouldn't want to see these buildings too clear. The clearer I see the building, the closer I am to the building. You got to understand that. You see? The smaller the building and the tree movements, you see what happens? So now look at this one in here that I did there. Does it feel like we're up in the air looking out of the balloon?
Yeah.
You see? Because you have to take into consideration what's moving. All right, look, let's have some more fun. Right? And our main one that I did, let's show this idea. We're looking at a bird that may be just flying by. Let it run off the page. See that?
Mm-hmm.
And now we would have to show the beat because we're looking from on top. So maybe we'll see some of the feathers. You know, maybe some of the feathers in the tail. Look how we're just making up marks based upon the idea of what feathers look like. What do feathers look like to you when you look down on them? You know, whether it's, you know, you was in an apartment building or you was in a plane and you just so happened was able to see that phenomenon because a seagull or something, you know, went underneath of the plane. You see?
Mm-hmm.
That feel like we from the top.
Oh yeah.
So now in our other makeshift one, that bird would be here. Oh no, that bird would be here possibly. See how we did that?
Mm-hmm.
Now, does that look like the bird is flying almost at the same level where we're at possibly?
Yeah.
This one.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine if you took that shape and made it smaller. Now you can put another bird here. It looks like it's further away. Is there another vanishing point or point of view that we can use from here that you can see from the basket? That would be interesting. You see how we got you? Now we got two
Ooh,
going. So if
right.
you want to do the main one in the middle, that's great. What else would
Mm-hmm.
you add in there? How would you show us the forest or a park area if you're flying over top? I know you don't do that on a regular basis, but just try to imagine it now. Imagine that you're flying above the park in your area in a hot air balloon.
Mm-hmm.
What does the top of those trees and everything look at the perceived distance that we have our balloon at, or that you have your balloon at?
Mm-hmm.
I would say puffs of different colors of green.
Say again?
Puffs of different colors of green.
You said colors?
Puffs of different colors of green, yes.
Yeah, but see, we're not talking about color right now. We're talking about what would be the forms you see.
Well, I say puffs.
Yeah, you're saying puffs, but what form would that be? What shape would that represent? Because remember, you're looking down on it.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're saying you're in a fantasy world and you're making cotton candy like puffs for buildings, then okay.
No, I'm doing
But if
trees.
you want us to feel a reality sense, then okay, what would a round building look like looking from the top down? It's just going to look like a circle, like how the balloon looks.
Mm-hmm.
You see? For a lot of people, that's hard to perceive. That's an aerial view. A lot of us are not in the heavenly sphere
Mm-hmm.
unless you're on top of buildings. Oh, I've done these things. Get on top of buildings. I pay attention when I'm outside in an airplane, helicopter, air balloon, when I'm on the Ferris wheel. Oh, I
Mm-hmm.
love looking at it. I'll be one of the kids that you would have to tell me to sit down because I'm rocking it too much.
Ha
I was one of those. I wanted to run from side to side. My mom would lose her mind, boy. I would get smacked, everybody, because I was, you know, high energy. There was
Mm-hmm.
no written. The hand in the belt was written in everybody. I'm not ashamed to say it. I was a very impulsive kid. If I wanted to see it, ooh, mom, look, ooh, mine. I'm thinking she having the same fun I'm having. And I looked and I saw a terrified person.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize it. I'm a kid. I'm looking, ooh, look, be high up in the air. Everybody looks little. Then run to the other side. Donald, sit down. And the voice got wavery. Donald, sit down.
Yeah.
You know, think about it, man. Come
You
on, you
rocking the
guys.
boat.
Have a moment. Don't think my
Mhm.
mom was evil. No, don't go that route. I know
Mhm.
that said some of you that the physical, reprimand was there. I understand. But you got to understand there's certain errors that went with certain things. So enjoy the story that goes along with the picture. So you
Mhm.
can describe your picture the way you want to then.
Mhm.
Why were y'all up in the basket? Who got the rock in the basket? Like
Right.
in the Ferris wheel.
Mhm.
So Swen, I'm not saying that you're wrong about the puffs. I'm more so worried about not the green color now, the form and the shape that these items would be to be able to read to our other audiences that anybody that looks at it, they would be undeniably stuck in like a vertigo situation, feeling like that one piece of paper is making them really feel like they're looking down 30,000 feet in the air.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Like it's fun if you do hit it, like, if you do hit it, like I've sold pieces like that and people really get into it because I've made people really feel like they had to throw up.
That you're doing something if you did that.
Oh man, that's the height of what you want to do, everybody, where your marks can make somebody's mind believe that they're actually there. Is that not the ultimate of it?
Mhm.
Even if it's a fantasy world, like, the chocolate factory, and we're flying into the chocolate factory because they use balloons there. How would that look to see a graham cracker house from the top that looks like a castle with a chocolate fountain spewing from the top of it? What would that look like coming down to it?
Mhm.
See what an illustrator, cartoonist, animator has to do?
Mhm.
Think about it. What we are. Think about this as we was talking about storyboarders. Think about what a storyboarder has to do when they just get the manuscript possible. They just get the manuscript of some loose writing and a director saying top view, aerial view, balloon from balloon, looking down, appearing 30,000 feet. The bird will be an extra in our illustration then at that. See what I'm saying?
Mhm.
The clouds will be extra. But that one little line that we got going through looking like a lake, or it may be a highway. Well, if it's a highway, it will have to be a little bit more structured than that, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, if you've been in a helicopter, you've been in a helicopter, you've seen it.
Oh, yeah, that's a whole nother thing. Talking about wanting to throw up.
Right, because it's personal. The helicopter is personal. You're feeling everything, all the turbulence and everything. In the
Right.
hot air balloon, you feel some turbulence, but it's a little bit steady because it's moving slowly. That's the only difference that I saw or felt, Nadine,
Mhm.
from airplane, helicopter to hot air balloon.
Mhm.
The hot air balloon moves slower and it's a more like secure feeling.
Yes.
You know, a helicopter, nah, man. Not unless it's one of those ones that's, the military. And I haven't been privy to fly those combat ones or be in a combat. And the
You
ones
mean
that carry, soldiers from one place to the other, then yeah, I've been in those and the cargo jets, the big ones that carry the big, stuff that you got to transport
mhm.
when you're in the war and you're transporting supplies and stuff. So those
Mhm.
big planes, I've been on those because you can get, and also a lot of people, those planes do a lot of flights and they do have seats in them.
Mhm.
And if you're prior military or military and you wanted to fly out somewhere, there's an opportunity for you to fly out on those particular flights too as well.
Mhm.
So those are things you can look into. And these are just conversations coming up on what we're doing from something from nothing.
Mhm.
Think about that. That's just conversation coming up from that. There's other ones too. I mean, I wouldn't want to drop something from there, but what would happen if you was to drop something? You know what I mean? Would it
Right.
explode? Right. Would it drop like a rock? What happened if you dropped an apple? You know what I mean?
That could hurt somebody.
Yeah, you see, depending upon where you're at. If you're over in an open
Mm-hmm.
ocean, yeah, you might want to see the phenomenon of seeing how that slowly or fastly gets smaller, running away from you.
Mm-hmm.
And think about how we have to make you perceive this idea. You see,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we can do another view, right? Well, I'll put a third view up on the other side. And on this side, we'll do the view where it's in between, where you see a little bit more of the ground. We may be a little bit lower in this. You may be at the position of this balloon here or this balloon here. See how we change position to show another balloon higher than us here?
Mm-hmm.
Here, it seems like we're the highest. Here, like how you made mention, both of you made mention, so I said, oh, they made mention, let's slide that in there. You have one balloon up here. You can even do the bottom of a basket here if you wanted to.
Oh yeah.
And you would show a little bit of the bottom because it's coming down into your point of view. Maybe show the line on the opposite side, see? Maybe show some of the weights on this basket. See what I'm doing?
Mm-hmm.
And just with line, put two lines holding each one of the weights. Put the darkness underneath just to start off. Because you know the underneath of the basket has to be dark. And maybe this side of the basket will be dark. See what we did now? Do the same thing to this basket, except for now, we made this side the darkness. So we put our weights on this side, erase out the middle. See how I just made some indiscriminate little oblong rectangular shapes?
Yeah.
Yeah. Side. Maybe this one's a little bit different. Darkness underneath. Maybe the darkness for the basket on this side, a couple of lines. You see how that starts to make things feel like they're really there and they're moving? Okay,
Yes.
on this other thing, right? I'm gonna make another box. Well, let me move over some. Yeah, I'm not gonna show off. Ooh, I just messed up, everybody. I'm sorry. How's that, Nadine? We still
It's
got
all
the
good.
whole screen. Yeah, we still got the whole screen. Just a little bit more on the, picture plane left. Yeah. Okay. All right. So what I'll do is I'll draw and you'll be looking over my shoulder, everybody. So we'll put the little box here. And now the difference in this scene is going to be, you're going to seem like you see a little bit more of the inside of the basket, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And maybe this time we may be able to put where one of the ropes are connected to go over the top, you see, and start to curl this way. And now have the rope finish. Take the lines out. And now we should have a curved feel of like that's rope. See how I did that?
Mm-hmm.
You know? And maybe that's right up underneath the edge here, the ledge. Maybe we put another one here. Same thing. You want to do this one now, everybody. It's up to you. Then I would put a knot and say that it's tied down some type of thing. Maybe put the pieces of the rope like so. To make it really feel like it's tied down. See? Yeah. Erase that line out there. Erase that line out there. You see? Now what we do is we move the horizon line up a little bit. See that?
Yeah.
Now, you feel that one? Feel the difference in that one? Does it feel like we're lower?
Mm-hmm.
Or no? Did we hit the mark? Yes. Uh-oh, that basket's kind of crooked. Don't mind me, everybody. That's you doing what I say to you guys, not to worry about perfection. But when you're doing a display, it has to be clear for recording reasons, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And if you guys have an idea, so I'm not that far off. There you go. See? And now you may see, like, okay, I may see a building here, but now I may see the top of that building over here. See what I'm saying?
Mhm.
See? Maybe there's another building, like a house. You see? Maybe there's a tree here in between both of them. You're right there. Does it feel like it just yet?
Getting there.
Yep. Here, here. And maybe these are like those new houses that have the little roof on the top, the little deck on the top of the roof.
Mhm.
There we go. See it now?
Mhm.
Uh, Maybe some more trees. Probably see a little bit of the street, possibly maybe another tree over here. See what's starting to happen? Maybe I'll
Yeah.
put a house over here now. And maybe we'll see the front of that, the top of that house, the front of it, like this. And now that's going. And now we can put another tree here. Maybe a shrub here. No, this is probably a residential area, so let's put some shrubs like so. Those taller shrubs that you can see next to the house. And see? So it feels like you're in a suburban area. Does it feel like that?
Yeah. I see the rooftop.
Yeah, maybe we put a smaller apartment building. And we show the top of that one coming out of some trees and things. Maybe some air dryer units and things like that on top. You see?
Mhm.
Starting to feel like, yeah, okay. Why not put a balloon way out here now, over here? See? Square out there, that's on the terrain, so then we can make it so that maybe a couple of little squares out here. Maybe in Roxbury or Roxborough, somewhere out there, where it's a lot of hills and trees. Does it feel like that yet, Nadine?
Getting there.
All right. See? Then we can put a little basket closer once again. Yeah, I don't think there'll be a basket any lower than that. The other ones would have to be smaller this way now.
Mhm.
Maybe smaller out this way. See what's starting to happen now? Your multiple idea, Nadine?
Oh yeah. It's really filling up.
Mm-hmm. And it really starting to have that feeling. Remember, I'm using an eraser board.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't like the way that banister came out on the right side. But y'all generally get the idea of trying to make something feel like it's wrapping around something.
Mhm. Mhm.
You see, to give us that feeling of the perspective view that we chose.
Mhm.
Whether if the horizon line is seen real clear, then you can say to yourself, the person is not looking out from that basket or balcony. They're looking somewhat upward towards the sky.
Mhm.
If I'm in the item and I'm looking straight down, everything is getting smaller going away from me.
Okay.
You notice those differences?
Yes, I definitely see the difference between the three for sure.
Mhm. So think about it. It's like if you was in the basket yourself and you was turning your head to see the different point of views from your point of view.
Mhm.
That's what this is. So even when it comes to the imaginary and you're saying you want it to feel like it's reality, then you have to put your mind there too. That's the fun part. That's the part that a lot of people 50 and over lose or is buried underneath a lot of experiences.
Mhm.
That's the childlike mind to be able to say, what is it? Like, I know what it looks like, but then
Mhm.
what does it really look like to me? Or what if I changed it and moved it around, like how Suan said, just fluffy green balls?
Mhm.
So then how are you going to make us feel before it becomes green, the fluffiness of those balls of trees?
Mhm.
Put it this way, think like somebody's colorblind right now, and all you're thinking is tonality.
Mhm.
Darks and light, achromatics, how light an area is and how dark.
Mhm.
And then that get the idea there, then start worrying about if you're going to color, what you're going to worry about.
Mhm.
But we haven't talked about color, but thanks for bringing that up, though, Suan. But just remember, deal with your formal idea first before you get into heavy understanding of your color movements and what you would call detail like that. Because you would like to have everything in the place that you want to have it to further make the person believe that the distance or the texture or the living thing is actually there on the page with them,
Mhm.
you know. So it's like soon as you look at them, as soon as you look at it, you're going to have a phenomenon where even if you was on top of your roof of your house, you could have views close to this idea.
Mhm.
Depends upon if your house is on a hill. Think about it. And you was at the highest point in your area. You see that phenomenon if you're in Philadelphia at Fairmount Park.
I was just getting ready to go there.
Yeah, because there's certain spots you can go in Fairmount Park, like the plateau, and you can see a whole spread of the city. Like you really can see all the structures of the city from that point.
Mhm.
So a couple of other cool scenes you can see from those high points in Philadelphia. Especially from the Ben Franklin Bridge. If anybody's ever done that walk across when they have events going on and it's, you know, tourism going and now they have it open and clean off real good. And people are jogging across and doing all that stuff. And we have tourists coming over, taking pictures in front of it, in front of the statue. Try to take your mind to the space and place so you can replicate. Sure, you might not be right or spot on every little nook and cranny, but that'll help your mind. That'll help your memory. You know, then when you go down and you're like, oh man, I thought it looked enough. Then you'll see it's changed up. So that'll be good.
Mhm.
And that's a shout out to my people 50 and over. And even for the below 50 theory. You know what I mean? You still want to go out and have these experiences where you can look down from a bridge, see what that looks like, especially if you want to paint and draw or do cartoons and things. You want to have a lot of experiences like that so you can then draw them like how the Marvel illustrators do, make us all believe that Thor and Asgard is there. You know what I'm saying? And, or how they make us believe that the Hulk is like almost like a real person battling his rage and turns his body green and makes him huge. Yes, there were other Hulks, I know, for all our comic book fans out there and all the people 50 and over. Yes, we know that there's actually other Hulks, but everybody's really turned out on the green.
And the Green Man.
Yeah, the Bill Bigsby, you know, doom ding doom ding,
Mhm.
doom ding doom ding doom. You know? Please stop. You wouldn't like it when I'm angry. Lou Ferrigno.
Yep.
Yeah. So everybody that's below 50, you might not know that if your group that you're under haven't, you know, watched these phenomenons and know who Lou Ferrigno is, a bodybuilder, or just put it in YouTube, put in the original Hawk series,
Yeah.
TV series, and have some fun laughing.
Yeah.
But it was something to us to see that green guy knock through a wall. Now you see it, it's like poor, like, you know,
Right.
special effects. But you know what I mean? For the time period, it was great, man. I used to love watching it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, there was a lot of cool shows at that time.
Yeah. Or our other guy, J.Y. Kane, you know what I
Uh,
mean? That John, what was that one called again?
the Kung Fu
Yeah, Kung Fu. Yeah, when he's trying to find his lost brother, new train.
Man.
He's meandering about.
Grasshopper.
Yeah, but that was the first time I heard the word meander, and I just couldn't get it out of my lexicon. I just liked the way it sounded. He's just wandering. No, he's meandering about the earth. You know what I mean? Oh, they're like, wow. You know what I mean?
It used to throw me off. He was back during the Westerns.
Yeah.
That was trippy.
You know, and he's using kung fu, traditional kung fu movements, supposedly, and karate movements to defend himself against a single shot rifle and 12 gauge shotgun. You know what I mean? Yeah, but it was good, man. And you watch it now, you be like, come on, man. But then back then, I'm telling you, or if you're a young kid watching it, because I watch some of the little ones where I'm around certain places, when they watch it, they really enjoy it like how we enjoyed it when we first saw it. You don't have no idea about stuff. Then you see it, it's like, oh man, it's either gonna scare the bejesus out of you, or you're gonna be like, wow. You know? So it's the same thing with these scenes. You put the right lines there, somebody's gonna go, wow, I really feel like I'm flying in a balloon, pointing down. Or I really feel like I'm right above those buildings, right up underneath of those other balloons that's in the area with either side. Or I'm above them all. I'm at the highest point, looking down on everybody. Got birds I'm flying over top of you. I'm floating over top of birds.
The birds, the birds.
Yeah, you can put a whole flock of birds. You just have to take that one shape of bird that we made there and put them at different sizes. And literally realize that putting them at different sizes is what that's going to read to your human viewer. It's going to read like things are going away. Why? Because if we drop something off of a building, you know, and you look, it gets smaller as it goes away. Okay, if you throw it up, or if you had superhuman powers and you threw it up the same way, it's the same phenomenon. So as things are going away from you, the way that you can replicate it on a page or on a canvas is by showing size differences. The things that you would want to seem closer to where you're at in the particular point of view that you took, it's going to be larger. In all three cases, if you look, they're larger. We can put an arm in either one of these if you wanted to. It's not going to look the same like the one. It'll almost look the same, but it'll be more in perspective if we show our arm pointing from here now. Because we may have to show some of the head inside the basket. So the top view of the head, like somebody standing behind this person to see this view. You see what I'm saying now?
Yeah.
Okay. If not, you know the deal. We can go in. You know what I mean?
Go in, go deep.
Yeah, we just go in and show where those extra lines would be. Because how would you control the light in this? You know, I just want to leave that up so everybody can see it and throw these things at everybody. So then you're thinking while you're doing your particular drawing of your particular area. It doesn't have to look exactly as I depicted on the board here. No, you can take some of the elements and you do it. Just pick one of the views that you're going with.
Mhm.
And for some of my friends and stuff that like to crack jokes, and some of the young people that check the videos out, no, I am not trying to show off by doing 3 views.
I don't even know what they're talking about. That's the beauty of being able to see 3 different views. What are you talking about?
Yeah, there's more views than that. You know what I mean? What if we wanted to do, all right, we have a perceived location right here. What if we
Mm-hmm.
wanted to look at all sides of the basket?
Mm-hmm.
You know, so that can be another 3 different drawings right there.
Right.
Right. And each one of them can have 5 different views if you wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
Looking down from each side of the basket, looking out from different sides of the basket at different heights.
Mm-hmm.
You know? What if it was somebody talking about the atmosphere?
Mm.
You know? Ooh, here's another idea. This is going to be fun. Say, for instance, one of these is flying a banner that somebody paid it to fly a banner.
Mm.
And say, for instance, you paid them to fly the banner. See that?
Mm-hmm.
So then I would put my name in there, Don. You know, I have some fun and put Don more. That's how I used to sign my graffiti name. See?
Mm.
So now I'm flying a banner in this one. Couldn't really see the banner in this one. You know what I mean? In this one, the banner would just be something floating off the back like a tail. See
Mm.
what I'm saying?
Right.
Right. And this one over here, wow, I didn't leave enough space for that idea. So maybe we make up another balloon here. Maybe being in front of this one right here, right? See how we
Mm-hmm.
did that?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Right? And then now we'll fly the banner off this one. See that?
Mm. Yeah.
And then my name in this one. See how it's in 5? I think this one might feel a little crowded. Yeah, oh well. You get the idea, everybody. I'll make my
Yeah.
horizon a little bit more permanent then. The thing about it, we did all of this and we still didn't talk about the time of the day. So would this be early day? Yeah, if we wanted to see all those colors like how you're saying, Nadine. So now if you guys wanted to fill in with colors, you can fill in with your watercolor pencils if you wanted, color pencils if you wanted, everybody. See,
Mm-hmm.
I'm on the board, so I'm limited, everybody. I would have to hurry up and do another one again in Sharpie marker and then start coloring in and we can talk about colors.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'll do that next time, do a rendition on the board and do 2 renditions on the side where we do one in color and one in just in black and white.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, a little bit of extra work, but it makes it fun for me too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, how many ideas can I throw at you guys and make sense on this board so that you get the idea and even for the video, that's my challenge.
Mm-hmm.
So that who watch the video, they feel as comfortable as if they watched it the first time. And
Mm-hmm.
hopefully the explanations and the drawing went down well so you can see it well. I started to stop using the blue markers because I had some people in some instructions say it was hard to see the blue marker.
Okay.
You know, and that's because of the way our, peripherals work.
Mm-hmm.
So then in other words, I would have to try to find a blue one that's not like a repro type of blue one. So it doesn't have issues with seeing, or go with the gray or go with the red. And because nobody has a problem with seeing red. If I need to do any actions or explanations, I would do the explanations in red. And we just leave it at black and red for right now until we bump into those other marker sets, eraser board sets, that they're colorful and they're not hard to see when you're recording the stream, everybody. So until then, if I'm doing it on the board, I will show how shadows may move and how to control darks and lights, because that's great on the eraser. You really can feel it. You can probably put a sunset or a sunrise in there.
Right.
Depending upon how you want the colors. I can put more clouds up there and then put more lines so that it feels like that's a deeper atmosphere way up. Or we're looking down below to show the differences, like how Sue-Ann was saying. Those puffs of green now. So now in tonality, they would be puffs of gray. You see what I'm saying? And what would show the difference between the cloud and the balloon and the ground?
Right.
The difference in tonality. Yes, color would do the same thing, yes. But if you're trying to get a thorough understanding on how to control this, and people want to get a loose understanding on how to control your drawings, so you can feel like you really can apply this stuff towards a more serious endeavor if you wanted to go a little bit more serious and use oil paint or acrylic and things like this. And I feel with full confidence after taking our Sunday pop-up drawing sessions that you will be able to, how would you say, lay down any composition that you want to do, all the way from a subjective, made up, existential, or abstract, or a direct object, what you see in front of you. So if you look at our classes, I feel confident that an individual that followed us to this point should be very confident in their drawing abilities at this point and be willing to try out and start off and push off and try to make up their own, scenes now. And then show us by taking a picture of it and not be afraid of thinking that, oh, we're going to say that it's wrong or it's ugly. Don't worry about that. If somebody does say it's ugly, why do you care?
Right.
Think
Just have
about
fun creating.
Right. That was the most important part. You're creating, you're decompressing yourself. You're having a moment with memory, whether you're below or above 50 at this point. Whether you're going to school or work or you're retired at this point. Doesn't matter. You're creating. And as long as you're creating and it made you feel good, who cares what somebody else's, idea of it is? Even if you're trying to market it to sell it, it's the same way you have to be. I know it's hard though. It's hard. Lord knows it's hard. But you got to do it, everybody, if you're going at that level of it, like how I am. You know what I mean? How Nadine is in streaming, and how some of you out there are putting your artwork that I found out about in small shows in your area and things like that. So you're taking the risk. So when you take the risk, you just got to understand you're liable to hear anything. But you do know, and you should feel confident to know that you will find individuals that will enjoy what you've done. If you're worrying about if they're telling you the truth or not, now that's another situation. I would just take it and go with it. And then move on in your endeavors and just see. Even if you're out and you did some of the things like we suggested in earlier videos by taking a pad out, pulling your car over and just stopping and sketching somewhere real quick, you know what I mean? To utilize these ideas and thoughts and how we talk about how to see a scene to be able to capture it.
Mhm.
I think you guys are able to do that with confidence, a lot of it. Will all of you be able to do it to where you feel confident? Probably not, but not right away. But if you have the persistence and have, how would you say, the patience with yourself now, yeah, you're going to get it. Nothing a human being does multiple times winds up the same. It's either going to progress or you're going to leave it alone.
Right.
You see? It's either you're going to cook the rice or you're going to go buy the rice.
It's a great way of
there's
looking at it.
Yeah, there is no in between. Once you figure out, man, I just can't cook this right. I didn't even set the right timer on it on my Instapot. Dang, I can't cook rice. You know what? I'm just going to go buy rice from the Chinese spot, Indian spot, and the African American spots that I can find that sells rice as a side. Or I'm going to go to ShopRite in Acme and go to their food department and then buy the rice from there. You know, or I'm going to go over to a Whole Foods or Wegmans, where they have the fried rice, you know, vegetable fried rice and chicken fried rice and steak fried rice.
Yeah, some of that stuff is good.
Yeah, but then these are the places you can go when either you're saying I can't make rice or I don't trust myself to cook the rice, or I don't want to cook the rice today. I'm tired. You know what I mean? But either which way, you know, you're making a decision. So, you know, you got it or you don't. It's not going to stay the same if you keep on persistently going at it. It's either you're going to do it or you're going to stop doing it. That's the way it is. And that's when you're going to hear people say, well, I used to, and man, I used to do that, you know. That's
Way back when.
Yeah, that's where that comes from. Because you didn't have a good experience with it. You didn't feel as if possibly things went the way they were supposed to go. So instead of continuing forward with the exploration, you just cut it off, just put it to the side. Let something else get in the way. Oh, I had to survive. I had kids. I had to, you know, make dinner. You know what I mean? Wash clothes. You know, that's what generally happens. But if you were persistent and you're able to give yourself that time and be patient with yourself, like how you are with others in endeavors, you know, a certain empathy with yourself, a certain sympathy with yourself, where you can laugh, where you don't take yourself so serious.
Yeah.
I know some of you might think, Don, you saying all that, you probably be in your studio taking yourself serious as I don't know what. No. That would be me lying then, and then now I don't think the sessions would come off right. Because then it would seem kind of fraudulent. But we got a pretty much a natural type of vibe going. It flows naturally. Once again, we went with our something from nothing, and we plucked something from nothing real quick. Just when you making mention of a prior session I had with somebody else, and my enjoyment and your enjoyment of seeing when I put the hot air balloons on things. You know?
Yeah.
See how it comes from nothing, everybody?
Yeah.
That was just from a conversation at something. Yeah, it was a conversation. But then now we segued into, okay, can we use that as an idea? And Nadine, if you put the parts of it in the recording, if you rewatch this, everybody, you can see where Nadine was coming up and saying, you know, and explaining different things that she would like to see. And then I said, okay, then, you know, we saw how we explored an idea to write it down. Hot air, you know what I mean, balloon, or a hot air scene, or below a heavenly scene, or an aerial scene. Then we said from a basket. It has to be from a basket because we're talking about hot air balloons.
Right.
You know, then you have to think about, well, how are we going to see the basket to make people believe that we're in a basket? Because if we don't put that stuff at the bottom of the page, then it's going to feel like what? That we're just looking out from the basket, or we're in something or a building where we're at the same height where they're descending down.
Mm-hmm.
Or we're on a hill. That's the only way we will be able to see those like that without those ideas of the basket down there. We can take the basket further. We can show the inside shadow. We can show the weave of a basket. You see what I'm saying? There's a lot of different opportunities that, you know, I didn't draw out on the board, but you can take some opportunity to fill in on your own. That's where I like to leave it wide open when I'm giving these type of renditions, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want you to feel like that I'm controlling your experience, or Nadine and I are controlling your experience, Sue-Ann, everybody. Or heck, even when Sue-Ann makes comments, if Sue-Ann is controlling somebody else's session. You see?
Mm-hmm.
Leave them open enough to whereas if you come up with an idea like how Sue-Ann and Nadine did, then you can just add it in.
Mm-hmm.
Don't feel afraid or feel like you're going counter to what we're doing during our sessions if you add one or two things in that you want to see. No, you're doing exactly what we perceived you would do or should do. Explore on your own. Take the idea of the disparity of things being smaller and larger to seem like they're near and far. What other things could you make us seem like they're near and far if they were floating or flying around? Or if you was getting close to the ground, what other things could you see? Could you be flying through the middle of a city with the skyscrapers to the side, like in some of these Marvel movies, where they would have balloons and different types of crabs flying through the middle of Gotham, like how Batman does?
Yeah.
You see, could you make us believe that this hot air balloon is doing that? Because then you wouldn't see any tree elements. Then now all you're seeing is just the tops and the sides of buildings going down away from you. So they'll be larger at the top and smaller at the bottom, or tapering at the bottom, or being covered by the building in front of you. Yeah, just think about all the different point of views that you could take in the body. You can make it a view like you're a bird sitting on the edge of the basket. You see, ooh, yeah, you still got time. What if we was to put a bird in the one on the right side? Because see, we got more space for an idea of a bird or something in that area. Would you say? I would say right around in here, put a bird look like sitting, or it's sitting right on the edge. There's the tail. I would put the tail covering some of that. So now I would erase out this area in here. See where the feathers would go. Looking like it's covering. You see here. And now I can do something like put the head looking like it's turning. So look in the opposite direction. That idea, everybody, Nadine? And then now I can put the wing on this side, show some of the body here, and put that wing a little bit on this side, going in. And then now show some of the tail, and what the tail feathers might be. I don't know what type of bird is in yours. Mine's just like a beat up pigeon. See, yeah. I got me a Philadelphia pigeon going there.
Yeah.
Quasi the ghetto dove, as they call it. See, yeah. And now I would do this. Take a little right there, a little bit, and show some more like so, like it's holding its head down. And then put some more feathers back this way. Then I'll put the roundness on them. Maybe with some of them overlap. Remember, this is my ghetto dove. So we gotta put some imperfections on it. For me. And hopefully that feels like a bird resting on your body. Does it, Nadine? I don't know.
Yeah.
You know? And look at, we just used basic shapes. I didn't go through the species of bird per se. Well, I did say pigeon, so mine is a makeshift pigeon, then you might say. Pigeon dove. But what would the bird look like in yours? Would the bird be looking to its right? Would it be looking to its left? Or would it look like it's about to land on your floating device? Or it's about to take off? You see what I'm saying? Because you did see birds doing that when I was in the basket. I remember my experience. It only cost like what, $60. And it was like for 2 hours. And it pretty much just took you around the area where you was at and brought you back to that location. Sometimes what they do is I think if you might be able to pay for like how it's like almost like a bus trip, but they have locations where they drop down. So the reason why I know about it in Jersey is because there's a lot of flat farm areas out there. And then some of these were considered rest stops. So on, like if you would go to some of the websites for some of these places when websites started to come, they would put the map and show where they would be coming down at as rest areas in tourist areas and stuff like that. Yeah. And they had it so that you could pay for, like, say for instance, I know at one time, it was when I was younger. So we talking about the 90s, I was in the Marine Corps. So we talking about the mid 90s. So it was like, say for instance, if part of the trip was to go from Burlington County, and then now if they're going south towards Maryland, they may have another stop off spot in Camden County or in Philly, where you could pay for that trip if you wanted. Like it's not something that everybody can do, so you would have to, know somebody or pay for when, people would have that as a tourist. Now, have I done it recently? Nope, haven't done it recently, but that was back then. And then some of them, they'll just take you up real high so you can see the scenery from the area where you're at, and then it holds you up there and it brings you down. And then you disembark. And they use the same terminology like as if you was on the sea. Yeah, almost the same rankings too. You got a captain and all that good stuff. Yeah.
Just in the air.
Yep, just in a hot air balloon. That's it. It's the same thing in a plane. That's why your stewardess is on there. They're like third and second in command. Something happens to the captain.
Wow.
Yeah. You have the second in command in the cockpit with the pilot, who is the captain. The person in the side seat may be a lieutenant, or it could be a captain too as well, depending upon what type of flight you're talking about. Talking of an American airline type of situation, you may have 2 to maybe 3 pilots in the cockpit, rotating control, for time, safety. It's almost like when you drive in a truck, now they have it where you have to stop now.
Yep.
Yeah.
So many hours of driving.
Yeah, I think it's like 12 hours. They say you have to definitely stop.
I think it's less than that.
Yeah. I'm talking about if it's continuous, the most that you can get off, I think, is 12, but it's like 4 hours. They make you have to stop at a rest stop or something, or to get some rest.
Yeah, and those rest stops, you can't stay there more than 6 hours. Sometimes it's shorter than that because I've had that experience.
Okay.
Because I would make stops at rest stops and you know, get up and walk around if I'm doing a really long drive. And I might take a nap.
Right.
Yeah.
Then you got a cop knocking on the window, right?
No, I mean because there are RV spots, truck stops,
Oh, okay.
and then so that it's real helpful and it's very clean and you know you feel a bit safe as
Well, I'll throw some
expected.
calamity on it. I've done the ones on 95 and all that where you stop at the Kentucky Fried Chicken and or the Taco Bell Kentucky Fried Chicken spots. You know what I mean?
Yes, those work really well too. Yep.
Yeah. But no, that's where I have the experience of having a state trooper knock on the window.
Oh,
So, you've been here for a while. Is everything okay? Oh, yeah. Okay.
right.
I recommend you to sleep in your vehicle, but okay. Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah.
License and registration, please. Oh,
Right. But in a way like that, it's kind of good, you know.
Yeah, I'm in agreement. I'm in agreement.
You know,
It can be unfortunate, but you know, it has to be done. Else, you know, a lot of things can happen out there on the road to people.
yeah, and there are a lot of older people that travel and they will stop, you know, so it's good to feel, you know, they're being looked out
If we had
after.
this conversation earlier, we probably would have did a scene from a truck stop from your window from Breastfeeding.
Yeah, maybe I'll do that. Truck stop? Let me write that
Yeah,
down.
you can do that here too. Maybe we'll do that next week.
Okay.
Just bring it up. Just make it up. What does a
Truck.
rest stop look like?
Yeah, I'd have to make that drive to get a good one.
Your car, the driver's seat of your car. What does the rest stop look like?
Yeah.
Whether you parked in the front in the handicap stuff, or you lucky enough to get close to the opening, or the opening of the door, or you way back in the back somewhere, almost next to the highway in the gas station. You gotta walk up.
Yeah, some of them are way in the back. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. See, that's why I like to go through these things from something from nothing. I use it in all the classes that I instruct when you're doing live classes and things like that with young kids or with people that may have certain disparities, because then that helps to pull their idea into it. Now you got them all intrigued based upon trying to think that you may know or you may be making it up about what you may see if you was in a balloon business. You see? Because most of the time, if I made mention to like something like this with the kids in the cartoon class that I was teaching, then it would be a whole scenario about what that bird was going.
Yeah. Kids are something, huh?
Yeah, but that's everybody, even the elders. When I had cartooning classes with elders, you'll be shocked. It helps the memory better when you're doing cartoon. Because you can make up an environment that mimics the one that you was in. You see, and that's what I do when I'm helping and assisting people with, you know, mild dementia, you know what I mean, and mild Alzheimer's and things like that. Especially in some of the rec centers that I'm at, the elder centers that I'm at, you have some individuals, unfortunately, that are going through early Alzheimer's, and some of them is just slight little things. So by doing certain things that has recall, and you can put parts of yourself in it, you know, as a simple scene like this, like how I started off saying, okay, you may not have been in a hot air balloon, but I know everybody in the American population have been at least in a 4-story building or higher.
Or a Ferris wheel.
Yep, there you go. Or a roller coaster. You know, what's that thing where they drop you like you in a parachute?
I don't like that. I know what you're talking about. I ain't gonna lie.
I'm one of those. It's not that I'm a thrill seeker. I just, you know, you know what I mean?
I don't need to pay somebody to make me scared.
You see, what I didn't look at it as fear. You see what I'm saying? In my situation, I didn't look at being at those heights as scaring me.
No, it was like the dropping. Like the whole idea is you go up for them to drop you.
Yeah, even the descent, it didn't feel like it was like a fear factor for me. It was more so like, wow, look at how everything is getting bigger as I'm coming down.
Okay. Yeah, you go ahead, right ahead with that.
I know, Nadine. That's why I had a couple of girlfriends that now I ain't getting on, but they
no, I'll watch you down here.
Yeah, and their kids would want to get on. So I would be the one that would get on with the kids on the roller coasters and everything.
Yeah. All right, Uncle.
Yep. That's what I was. I ain't gonna lie. A couple of girlfriends I had, and I had the kids. If you're listening to this and you remember, then you remember if we was on a roller coaster too, Coney Island and all of that. Get on before they closed that stuff down and then reopen it and close it. You know what I mean? But the cyclone and different things like this, the roller coasters in Great Adventure. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The ones down there in Busch Gardens.
Yeah.
Man.
I used to go to Busch Gardens every year. Every year.
Yeah.
Busch Gardens and King's Dominion. That tells
There you
my
go,
life.
man. Yeah. Get on them roller coasters and the water looms and all this good stuff.
Oh, and there was one in Ocean View before they tore it down. It was the movie coaster. It was from that roller coaster. And it was an old wooden roller coaster.
Wow. Talking about Cyclops or the cyclone that they was doing in Coney Island, using a lot in Coney Island?
This was years ago. I'm talking back when Jaws came out.
Yeah, that's still the era when the cyclone was out. They was using that in a lot of movies. Yeah. Coney Island. Check it. It might be Coney Island. I don't know.
The one I'm referring to is it was in Ocean View, Virginia.
Oh, okay. I
At
know
that time,
that was another area that had a roller coaster that they would do a lot of pictures in cinematography at.
Okay. Yeah, years ago it used to be the Black Beach.
Right.
And then it changed.
Okay. And the one in Virginia.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are those wooden roller coasters, man.
Yes. Old clanky.
Yeah, those are the ones that are the scary ones, right?
You get clink, 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 clink. I'm sorry.
Yep, you can hear the nuts and bolts rocking in the wood cracking. Yeah, man. Little basket. Doing about 25, 30 miles per hour.
Y'all can have that. Forget that. That was something.
Yeah, man. But yeah, see how all the conversation comes out, everybody?
Just from our experiences, you know?
From your experiences, pulling from your experiences.
It's so
I wonder
important.
how many of you are having experiences and talking to yourself or talking to someone in the room when you watch this video or show your artwork that you're doing.
Yeah, it should be really interesting to get feedback, and we want to hear from you. If you're at this point in the video, what experiences that is our conversation taking you back to? It's a human experience. This is why we create.
Yep. Aerial view. What does that look like to you? You know what we put on the screen and everything, but what does that look like to you from your mind's eye, from your experiences being in airplanes and being in skyscrapers and things like that? Yep. Or just sitting on your rooftop looking at the stars. What does that look like? To look down off your roof, to look down on your patio, or look out from your roof to look at your neighborhood. And yes, even if you're in an urban environment, you can get on top of your roof, because most of the time the roof is not permitted to you in urban environments and like certain type of buildings, like apartment buildings and stuff. I don't think there's like a normal like rooftop, you know, maybe now, but I remember back in the day, if you went to certain projects and stuff, they didn't have access for you to access the roof. Well, it became access. We understand.
Yeah.
But it really wasn't permitted like how it is today.
It wasn't meant to be that kind of access.
Right, because you're worried about suicide people, people having suicide and different type of behavior or mental challenges at that point. And then even mishaps, because how do you secure that? Yeah. You see, so but now you have buildings that have security features in there, like high, fences and glass fences and things like this. And you're a certain amount of feet away from the edge of the building. So you still can have that phenomenon in some of these buildings like this. The whole thing is to go out and have an experience of experiencing looking down on something.
Mhm.
We look up all the time, but how many times do you consider an aerial view?
Look at that. Yeah.
Yeah. Where your feet are perceived to be on some type of ground, because the basket is perceived to be a ground. The inside of the airplane is perceived to be the ground. The floor that you're standing on in a high-rise building is perceived to be a high-rise, you see, floor.
Yeah.
So you understand if you threw balloons out the window, and you wasn't supposed to. I know I've done it. And you hear somebody scream, "Damn it, I'm gonna get you!" Yeah.
You go running laughing.
Yeah, I run from the window until one day you got caught and somebody knocking on your door. And now you gotta keep quiet and act like, and then now you hear the person, "Yeah, I know your little ass, and oh, excuse my language, your little behind is in there.
Yeah.
Better be glad I don't catch you. I'll kick your door in.
Yeah.
Better stop what you're doing." I've heard that, people knocking on the door. Yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah, man. Woo. But these are the things that you have experienced, everybody. These are the experiences I'm asking you to pull from when we do these something series that we're doing thus far. Because we're not doing things out of the stretch of anybody's experience, generally.
Right.
You may say that you have not been in a hot air balloon. Fine. But you've been in an airplane or a helicopter.
Mm-hmm.
Been in a high-rise building or a family building. You've been in a project building. You've been in a skyscraper or business building. Somewhere USA or somewhere in this world. You've been in a mountain. You've been on a mountain. You've been on a cliff. You've seen something. You've been to the Grand Canyon. Something.
You've seen it.
You've seen it. You've experienced it. You may not have experienced the exact one that we're talking about today. But if you're having a hard time imagining a hot air balloon, those are some of the other references that you can possibly pull from to have that same feeling, like as if you was in your patio in an apartment building, and you're looking over the edge of your apartment building patio and you're barbecuing out. You may be looking over the cul-de-sac area where your apartment buildings are. Can't tell me you haven't seen that, everybody. As soon as somebody said, "Oh, I haven't seen it," I'll say, well, even if you lived in a mountain, you look down on a valley.
For sure.
Yeah. It's nowhere in the world. Other than that, you're saying you're bedridden and, you've never been out of your bed. Everything is based upon your imagination. I can understand. But if you don't have that package, then you've seen this somewhere, somebody, somewhere. Even when you go to sleep, you may imagine flying in the sky. You may not have been up in a lot of planes, but you may have had a dream where you're looking down. Heck, if you watch this video, it may, it may go so far in you that you may have a dream tonight thinking about floating in the sky.
Yep. Transmutation.
Yeah, buddy. I'm not afraid to say it. I have dreams like that from when I was a little kid, flying and floating in the sky with my favorite bird. Like, yeah, I was that type of kid. And my grandma would find out, she would ask me different things about the dream. And then she would go to her dream book. You know what I mean? And then if I got a special lunch that day from being with her, I knew she hit the books. Or she said, "Come on, baby, we're going down to the store." I knew then she won something. That's the only reason why she was going to the store at that point. Because other than that, she would send you to the store for her. Yeah.
Right.
And then now you would get an extra sandwich and an extra hug juice and some Bon-Ton potato chips. That's what was in my area. Or some Munch'em onion rings and things like that when she would hit the pick 3 or something like that, or hit the number.
Mhm.
off of probably what was going on in your little dream. So I don't know if people still follow dream books and things like that, but you know, this is where the imagery comes into play. You know, these are the type of conversations you can have just from somebody looking at one of your drawings in your book
Mhm.
or in your memory book, or like how we were saying people were doing what we call it last week. I forget the name for journaling.
Journal. Yeah.
Yeah. So we would
Me-
call this our visual life journal.
Yes. Light journal.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, that's what I'm doing with rest fever. I have a light journal, I'll doodle and stuff like that. That's been fun, not putting any pressure on that. And then I want to say, I want to give a shout out to Juan, your friend
okay.
Juan.
Juan
Um,
Gomez. Hey.
Juan Gomez. He was featured on Fox 29
Yeah.
at the shore or
Mm-hmm.
down in Jersey. They did a
Yeah,
really
the
nice piece.
Philadelphia one.
Hmm.
It was the Philadelphia one.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
they
okay.
showed the inside of his studio and the workings of him and how he follows his procedure and stuff like
Hmm.
that in the studio to get work going on this new series that he's doing
Yeah.
based upon vibratory realms and
Mhm.
waves and links and light. So it's
Yeah.
interesting, all brushing by hand. So
Yeah. Yeah.
excellent.
Yeah, it
Everybody,
was
good job.
excellent work. So kudos to him. But a reason why I mean, I definitely want to celebrate, yet another artist being featured, for creating. But that also he showed some like one of his journals.
Yeah.
And
Juan
I was
journals all the time. He was one of the guys I was talking about when I alluded towards it last week. Juan's one of those that he has a whole thing of journals.
Mhm.
Like as far back as I can remember when I first met Juan, I would see him with his memory book, and then I finally started to get to see his memory books or his books that he would have full with drawings on his day, like for
Mhm.
real.
Mhm.
So it's amazing to see, and he has his own catalog of time periods that he was in, and I'm glad he put the work in. Sooner or later, when he opens that up, it's going to be interesting to see his day-to-day events in those
Mhm.
books. And anybody that's doing it like that, it's wonderful to see your experiences when you finally let us, the audience, the outside world, see your journal. Like, I can't wait to see yours, Nadine. You showed some of it, and I like the way it looked. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? It's very interesting to see somebody's memoirs based upon their daily events, but then throwing the added adventure into it of the visual aspect.
Mhm.
I think
Mhm.
that's a lot more adventurous than just the writing journaling. Like, I'm not saying that's bad or good, everybody. Don't get me wrong.
Mhm.
I'm a visual person. So when I saw Da Vinci's book, that's what I saw it as, like a visual journal.
Mhm.
So then when I started seeing other high-end artists that have done this, when you read their memoirs and things like this, and they say they have, journals, visual journals, I was like, wow, visual journals, that's high. Whereas instead of just writing out their experiences like a writer or a poet and things that people that generally that we're borrowing this idea from, you know,
Mhm.
we're using visual elements, loose croquis drawings like the Impressionists did, and like
Mhm.
how Da Vinci did that. Or it can be very intricate and developed to show exactly what I'm seeing. So you
Mhm.
can forevermore know from this time period onward what I was seeing, you know what I mean, when I was doing these things. And that's what the journal, I just believe it's just, those that do it, it's just a beautiful thing. Do I
Mhm.
do it? No, I do it more mentally with me. Could I
Mhm.
take advantage of it? I don't know. You know what I mean? I'm more so on the go, so I do my thing visually. So
Mhm.
then when I'm ready to create, I can just go right from the mind so it can
Mhm.
feel more impulsive in my piece.
Mhm.
And that's why I like doing this something from nothing ideas with crowds and our pop-up session. Whether you like it or not, everybody, or whether you understand it or not, even when we're picking photos, it's just that impulsive.
Yeah.
I just believe that with that impulsivity, you get a certain energy in your work.
And things happen. Things
Yeah.
just happen. And you free yourself from the perf perfectionist um
Modes.
modes. that try to seep into your veins, you
Yeah,
know?
'cause it's gonna seep in. It's gonna seep in.
Mm-hmm.
I can hear some of you, okay, maybe my bird is too big. Maybe I need to do the bird a little bit smaller. Oh, my
Mm-hmm.
finger doesn't look right. It's too small, it's too skinny. And you're
Mm-hmm.
doing all that judgmental stuff.
Yeah.
Well, why not judge it and just let it be as it came out?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know this is going to sound, how would you say, a little disgusting to people or TMI, but let's look at it this way. And I always say it, and half the crowd goes with me, and then half the crowd goes, oh my God, why would you do that? But with gas or fraudulence, you don't hold back on that, right?
It's got to come out.
Right. So then if I believe your creativity or your observations, whether it be subjective or micro or macro at that point, should be the same way. Unimpeded and just let it come out. When you have to vomit whatever's bad in your stomach,
Mm-hmm.
it's not asking you no questions. You can try
No
to hold it, and
questions.
that's when your eyes turn red and it comes out your
You'll be
nose.
like,
I'm sorry to bring it out
what?
like that.
Why do that to yourself? Just
Right.
create.
There you go. That's all I'm saying. Create, let it out, and then
Mm-hmm.
deal with it when it comes out. Now it's out. Then deal with it, but don't scrutinize it. Don't
Mm-hmm.
judge yourself because
Mm-hmm.
you're scrutinize yourself out of working.
Mm-hmm.
You're right and wrong and perfection yourself right out of doing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the point that I'm talking about. And I know Nadine is one that talks about it. I know Sue Ann enjoys it because she shows her work even more so
Mm-hmm.
now. So the
Mm-hmm.
doing, don't stop the doing.
Don't
We
stop
don't
to
care
do
what
it.
it looks like. Don't throw away the paper. I know people that throw away
I
the
have
paper
done
that
that.
yeah, don't do that. You're cheating your experience then. Because there might be something in that frustrating piece of paper that you may not see right now that you may see later.
Mm-hmm.
Do you realize a lot of your abstract or existential artists are the ones that didn't throw away their insignificant drawings?
Mm-hmm.
Think about that, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Think about if Picasso just threw away that erroneous napkin that he was drawing aspects of Guernica on.
Just
That he
the
just threw it away.
napkin. Just the
Right. And
napkin.
he just wiped his face with it and just threw it away.
Just can you imagine? And you look at the mark and you're like, wow, that's interesting. That could be a painting,
Thank you.
you know?
Or it can be the transition into the next piece. However you want to look at it, that small drawing supplied a lot more thought than what you may think. By throwing it away, you've lost your opportunity, not unless you can recall that moment. Now, a
Right.
lot of us are not good at recall. That's the problem too.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, what I'm saying is that when you do these visual journals, it's the best, man.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because you can open up a page and do a spread if you wanted to.
Yeah, I did that. I did the spread.
Ooh, Nadine, I can't wait to see that. No, I want to see him in person. I don't want to see him just on the screen
I
because I
figure
like
out
seeing
where.
type of stuff in person.
Yeah, because it was 2 pages, but I think I showed you that one. That was one of the first
Yeah,
ones.
that's what I'm saying. Like I've seen it
Mm-hmm.
already. I know I've seen it,
Yeah,
but now I
yeah.
would like to see those in person because
And
you
yeah,
gotta
that was
agree.
a combo, you know. That was
Right. When you see it in
words and
person,
design, but it was inspired by one of our private lessons. So
understand.
yeah, and so it just kind of unfolded from there. And I was just like, oh, let me apply this here.
Mhm.
And that's where I think is the beauty of the experiences of what one would get from a private lesson with you is that you go deep and you actually um, take them to a place and you give them a tool that they
Yeah.
can pull out later to
Right.
continue because it
Mm-hmm.
is in the repetition. And
Yes. So
and
that's
and
mainly
so
what I'm keying on when it's private, because right
mhm.
now it's general. It's a
this is
generalized.
this is community. This is
Right.
community, um,
Now,
just
if it was private, right? If it was private,
inspiration.
yeah. If it was private, Nadine, then I would go deeper into the construction of the bird and the why.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
Private going into what Swan had made mention into the actual forms of those trees.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you see, So now if we're doing that, I would then say, okay, at point do you see those round shapes of these trees? See? And then now what will be the difference in color in those when we're talking about those green puffs now?
Right.
As you had made mention. Right. You see? And then now, what would be the difference in Mark if we said this bird and all of us was flying over areas? You see, shape would that take that would be different and diverse enough to help the balloon stand out for you, see? And make the difference between the clouds. So that these don't read like clouds, they read like trees.
Right.
You see? And the more and more I put that there, even now, if I put these smaller circles overlapping one another, like so, it makes everything seem like it's further away. See that?
Yeah.
In the private class, everybody, we would go into a little bit deeper into those ideas and how to make somebody really believe that based upon your own experience of making yourself believe first. Just remember that, everybody. You're the smaller ramification of the larger picture.
Yes.
That means that I basically showed you particularly 3 different point of views. You see?
And that was 3 different opportunities on that's coming from nothing. It's our thoughts about hot air balloons. And it was also saying, starting from the point of saying, where am I and what vantage point am I looking at the topic we're focused on?
Yep.
You know,
all this was points of view, aerial points of view. Because the minute we show a worm's eye human view from the ground, then we're not in an aerial situation.
Right.
The minute that you're in a building, that's an aerial view from a building. Even if you're on the second floor of your house or your condo or your townhome, that's an aerial view. The minute your feet hit the ground, that's no more an aerial view. Now, you know, in classes with younger and, you know, elders and art centers at this point, I would get arguments about, well, what if you're standing on a box?
Ooh.
You
Depends
know?
where the box is.
That's all I said. Depends upon where the box is and then how many boxes you're standing on. If you're standing on one, well, you can say that it's aerial, but is it really going to give you an aerial feel? Depends upon how tall you are. If you're 7'11", you're something like that, 7 foot tall or better, then it doesn't seem like that when you stand on a box. But if you're 6 foot and below, like the average height person is, really? So yeah, these are the different dichotomies that can come out in conversation, especially if it's a special ed class, especially if it's because I know I have friends out there that do the same thing I do. So if you're an art teacher in school, you can use these type of ideas to get the kids to come up with different concepts and points of views and get them to think about what a view could be. And then if it's a reading modality there, then you can have a vocabulary for naming off hot air balloons and all of this, a specific name of a bird that might do this particular type of act. And that would be the vocabulary package within it. And I've done this before, because I was a special ed teacher, everybody. So that's why I'm saying that. And that's what has worked. And it worked with large crowds and small crowds. It worked with kids that were autistic, because it was all about them making up the scene then. To the point where you wouldn't have to even verbalize. You just have to draw it out. And with some of the autistic people I've dealt with, that's what the modality was. Depending upon what their level of autism is or was, I was able to do what I call assisted drawing. That means that I may draw some of this, and then they'll make a noise or they'll make a movement or they'll look at me. I said, well, yeah, put your part in. And then they'll draw, and then I'm drawing off of whatever they'll put in. So then if the person gets frustrated, then I start applying clarity to things.
Right.
And then now they'll draw right behind me doing the same things that I'm doing. So like this circle, the person may draw their circle here for their balloon. You see, that's what I
That's
call it.
drawing along, but in a private session.
Right. Well, no, that's more so that now that draw along is more so for if you have any type of ailments and things that deal with behavior, that deal with physical challenges like stroke, heart attack, aneurysm, things like that. It helps with the people that I deal with when we talk about this type of modality of drawing along. Individuals that may be slightly autistic, to depends upon what their features are, a heavy autistic person, but mainly, you know what I mean, it helps a lot in Alzheimer's and dementia situations.
And so
it
builds up.
Right. And then you don't worry about, like, what I'm saying is the person may not draw with this type of sensibility that we're seeing. The hand may be too small. You see what I mean? Or maybe real small. The balloon may be awkward shaped. But in the session, that's when you're really not worrying about this idea of perfection. You're worried more so about the doing. And then the doing brings the clarity back. And that's been my experiences when I applied that.
So
it seems like drawing, it does something, it's just, it intrigues me. It's something with drawing, having an apparatus in your hand, or even when I've done finger painting with people, it's just something about that connection with the fingertips and the mind that I think it's a lot more things that can be done with humans in crisis. And that's why I like to do that, because it's an impulse, whether everybody wants to be. And I really don't want to go there like that, but it's just coming out, everybody. It's an impulse.
Right.
So you're trying to have that impulse signature be read to the brain through the eyes at the same time. And what happens in certain sections of the brain, you can have recall happen. Now, they may not remember, as soon as we put the pencils down and I start putting things away, they may not remember the full journey. But they'll remember that they did a drawing and they'll be back next week to do it. If the person says that, we clap it up. Now, then when they come back next week and we pull the drawing back out, if they can remember where they last was, or the last color, whatever the last thing they did, if they can remember that,
they're going to pop right into it again, into that zone.
Yep, that's when we clap, because that's what the journey is about when you're in those crisis situations.
And the brain is amazing, you know. And
I'm telling you, I'm getting chills right now.
I'm getting chills. I just got a chill just saying the brain is amazing. And you know, I was writing down that, like, okay, for example, what we're talking about, what we're trying to share, what we're trying to get the listener, the viewer to recognize or to start to think about, no matter what stage in the aging process you are, or a family or friend are at that point, is that the approaches of using what Don was specifically saying, drawing, the aspect of drawing, that connection is, I put it in here, it's the connection with the human crisis, like with what's going on. If they can't hold, they say, oh, I can't hold the pen or a pencil. And then you say you would stick it in there. I was at the restaurant and I saw a gentleman. He had part of his leg taken off. He was sitting with his wife eating breakfast, and he just stuck the fork in like this and just, he said, he was doing it. You know, his hand is like this, but he was doing it no matter what. He wasn't, just because his hand was like that, it wasn't going to stop him from living. And I just think the same aspect, what you were saying about getting folks to paint and to draw and to start activating the memory or whatever, even if you're thinking, I'm getting older and I'm starting to forget stuff, now's the time to be spending time with us doing this.
Yeah. This is what I do. If it, like, say, all right, I'll give another one, everybody. Say, for instance, you're in the Philadelphia County, right? Specifically PA, I'm not in Jersey and Delaware right now with what I'm doing.
Mhm.
I'm at several centers, elder centers in the Philadelphia region, meaning I'm at Juanietta Park or Junietta Park, as they say. I'm with the Man Center. I'm over at the Northeast Center, the one that's on Bustleton and Solid. I'm over at South Philadelphia Older Adult Center. So you can go to any one of those pages or go to any one of those places. And if that's in your area, you can come over and inquire and come over and spend $2 and have a 2-hour class with Don. That's all it is, subsidized by the state and by the Department of Aging and the Parks and Recreation Department. So if you have a certain elder center in your area and you're in some of those areas like the Northeast, North Philadelphia, that's where you would have Juanietta Park or the Man Center. You see South Philadelphia is over there near Pat States and the Acme out there. So if you're in that area, you know, just check it out to see what days I'm there, Mondays through Fridays. So, you know, on Mondays and Wednesdays, the Northeast. On Tuesdays, you won't be able to participate on Tuesdays and Wednesdays because that's at Homelink, which is on Ridge Avenue. And that's where I deal with the individuals that may have autism, strokes, heart attacks, and other different crisis situations to help them in. So I have wheelchair individuals and things like that in that environment. And once again, that's called Homelink. And it's ran by a young lady named Laurie Smoker. Ooh, I might be tearing her name up, man.
That's all right. You know what I did, and I put it in the chat in the different social media places, is first your G.Page, where they can reach out to you and whatever they might be interested in, whether it's private sessions, or if they want to find out where you are and contact you, connect with you in terms of where about in Philadelphia area in terms of the local senior centers. So I put that there. You can go to that. Don't worry if you're driving and you're listening to this as a podcast. When you get a chance, go back and tap into the chat. You'll be able to see it. You can reach him and on Facebook. He's on Facebook. He's on Instagram. Listen, y'all, we're just trying to tell you how it is so important to create. And one of the best ways, one of the best tools for keeping an active mind, body and spirit actually, is through drawing and painting. And we're here.
Online, everybody. They'll let you know that doing a drawing pushes more of your brain waves more so than doing a math problem. Or doing
go figure that. Yeah.
So but then here, I got one for you guys because I'm going to be dealing with the environment or a showing day. It's like a one-day event with the Jewish community center over there in Old City.
Oh, you doing that again? That's great.
Yeah, no, this one is called Waffle and Wine.
Okay. You said Waffle and Vine? I thought you were there.
Waffle and Wine. This one is called. It's the Jewish Arts Community Center. I'll have a flyer or something where I'll be putting up when they give it to me. But that's going to be on August 24th from 7 to 10 or 11 p.m. On 3rd Street, where the Jewish Community Center is. You can look it up online.
I've actually been there. Jewish.
Yeah. And they're having an event that's called Waffles and Wine.
Waffles and Wine. Okay.
I'll be one of the participating artists. I just, made sure everything was in. So, I'll be one of the participating artists for that one-day event. So if you want to come out to that and check it out and you can possibly check out some of the stuff I'm going to have with me.
And have waffles and wine.
Yeah, on them. You have an endless amount of waffles and wine, they say.
And we know Don likes to eat.
Yeah, so I'll check out what type of toppings they have for the waffles. I'll probably go live from there on my tablet or something, or on my phone rather than my tablet, because I'm gonna use my tablet for patronage, hopefully.
Yes.
So you
Yes.
know what I mean? So come on out, everybody. It'd be a nice spot to come talk, strategize, see other artists, and then to check out your boy and to talk about what we do on Sundays, possibly,
Yeah.
and talk about other things if you want to. Have me out, come out to the studio, have private lessons, you name it. So come on out. That'll be August 24th. Once again, that's a Saturday, from 7 p.m. to about 10 or maybe 11 p.m.
Oh, yeah. So that's a nice evening thing. Yeah.
And it's on a Saturday,
It's
so
Saturday.
Saturday evening.
I wonder if they're going to block off the street, like if there's other stuff happening on the
Well, I
block.
don't
Every
know.
now and then they do that.
Well, I think it was more so on that location and inside that location. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on it, everybody. This
Oh,
is my
no.
waffle and wine. I did the beer and pancakes one. So that was the other one. That's another
Beer and
interesting.
pancakes. That's something.
Pancakes was fun, but I was part of the interest that one time came in was more artisans than patronage from community. So, but now I'm over here with the waffle and wine, and we'll see what happens at the Jewish Community Center, and see how proactive and how interactive the environment is to arts and the artisans of Philadelphia and the Delaware Valley.
Yeah, wow, that's super cool. That's super cool. Well, just a reminder, everyone, a link to get in contact with Don on his G.Page. You can find that in the comment section. You can also reach him through Facebook, Messenger, Instagram, and yeah, so those are really good ways to reach him. And of course, you can reach me on a platform that you're seeing me in. That's what I co-produce out so that it can reach whomever. And this partnership has been a wonderful journey for us since pre-COVID, and we're continuing to go strong. And we hope that you got something out of this today. And if you did,
I'm gonna stop saying
comment.
I'm gonna say you. I know you did. It's just that I want to hear you talk
We
about
want to
it.
hear you. We're saying you got something out of this, and we want you to say, yes, I got something out of this. Thank you. Or you don't even tell us what it is. If you don't want to say what it is, okay. Take a picture of what you drew,
You did. And say, this is what I came up with based upon what we was doing, what you guys were doing on Sunday.
Yes. And let me see, and I'll close because I want to be mindful of Don's time. Let me see if this is going to come up right away. Can you see it? It's not as trying to put it here. Let's see. I'll go back to the other image. Maybe I can show it better because it's in pencil.
Is until 9:30 today.
Okay. Oh, the camera is better. Okay, so that's where I am from what we did today. So drawing something from nothing. So I'm I tried to put a lot of balloons in there, hot air balloons in there. So it's been fun. So thank you, Don.
No problem. I think you had still on. How would you say?
I thought for sure. Let me double check. I can tell you if it came up. Because I can refresh.
So we can see that again. Yeah, I'm still pinned.
Maybe you're pinned in Zoom. Let's see here.
Yeah, in Zoom I'm pinned.
Okay, live. I think I switched it over.
Oh, okay. Don't worry.
I'll do it one more time because we should be in a two-shot. I can see the two-shot. Can you see it? Or I can. Okay, hold on. Don's not seeing me, so I gotta make sure he can see me.
All right, there it is. I see you now. Way
I
to go.
removed the spotlight. There you go.
Way to go. Way to
All
go.
right. So I
A
put a
lot
lot
of
of balloons. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I just started adding balloons.
I would just say show more of the straps on top and stuff like that. That's all.
Yeah.
Make
Yeah,
sure it looking
they were
more
there. They were there.
Yeah, I know. Just yeah, okay, I see them. Even on the small one, yeah, I see them. Okay. Yeah.
Yep. I was all strapped. I was going crazy. I gotta make one smaller and make one smaller. And try to show under the bird.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or they
so
so close that they would leave shadows on one another.
oh yeah, that's good. I gotta put shadows. Let me write that
You
down.
see what I'm saying?
Shadows. I gotta decide where the light is coming from.
Right, because they can be so close together that they'll cast a shadow on one another.
See, you see how when you start, once you get started, it's just like it's just going. Sometimes I'm so into it, I'm like, what is Don saying? Because I'm in the zone, and that means you're in it. It's
That
like,
means
what is it? When my eyes are open, it's
it's
on.
on. But you're
And that's it.
intrigued. More so, you're intrigued, which means that now you can spawn forth to keep creating. Because the main thing to keep creating is you have to be intrigued by something.
Yes,
Don't care
absolutely.
what it is. You got to be intrigued by something in order to keep yourself creating. Keep creating is a real thing. I really go hard on it, because
Really go
because
hard.
it's a factor that if you keep creating every day, no matter what you're doing, you're gonna have a better existence. You're gonna have a better understanding and feeling of the world around you. And that's what I hope for every human being that's, how would you say, uh, willing to go off into a journey into their creativity. So I wish you all the best and keep creating, everybody. Keep creating.
Keep creating, everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us today. We're going to clap it up because creating is paramount. It's paramount. So thank you. Have a great week and leave a comment. We want to hear from you. All right. Take care, everybody. Peace. Let me see. Where are the buttons? Stop.